Welcome to The Print. I am Sourav Barman. Joining us in this special interview is someone whose political graph has really risen over the last 1 year since we last interviewed him right after the Lok Sabha elections. Gaurav Gogoi, the Congress deputy leader in the Lok Sabha and the recently appointed president of the Assam Congress unit. Welcome, Mr. Gogoi.
Thank you.
So, let's begin with something that is really dominating the headlines, the airwaves, social media. Rahul Gandhi's press conference, where he gave a presentation on vote chori, how votes are being stolen allegedly, and he cited some evidence from the last Lok Sabha elections from one Lok Sabha seat in Bangalore. Now, these are really serious allegations, and it essentially pertains to how our voter rolls are compromised. That is what it shows. Now, the election commission may very well turn back and say that is why we need the special revision of, the special intensive revision, which is something they're carrying out right now in Bihar. That is exactly what Mr. Gandhi's press conference proves. So, what would be your response to the EC?
Well, the work that Mr. Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party did is essentially the job of the Election Commission to ensure that our voter lists are cleaned up of fraudulent entries, duplicate entries, non existential people before we use them in the electoral process. After all, for the Congress party, we have done this massive, gigantic exercise using a vast team of skilled professionals looking at pages which are not scannable, and thereby we are not able to use any software algorithm to sort out this. But all of this is available in an electronic version to the Election Commission. They have the machine readable version, they have the digital version. So, what explains in a day of Aadhaar, UPI, modern technology, best IT professionals, India being the IT hub of the world, that in the 2024 elections, in a constituency of 6 lakh voters, you had 1 lakh fraudulent entries in the voter list? Whose job is this? This is the Election Commission's job. The Election Commission should be telling us why couldn't they do this job before? And why are they making this job so hard for media, for civil society, for citizens, for political parties?
You said this entire task was gigantic. So, give us a sense of how Herculean this entire thing was, sifting through lakhs of papers, as you said, not readable by machine. So, it took you 6 months. So, how difficult was it? And how many people were at it?
Well, you see, all of this evidence that has been placed by Rahul Gandhi ji is substantiated, and it has backed with solid evidence both on ground as well as looking at the information available on the EC website. Say, for instance, you found that there were 80 people living in some random address. You had to send a team
to physically verify,
to go and verify, which the party has done. They've sent a team. How to see that there is a photo which has come at 5 different locations in the same voter list or across different voter lists in different states. You would have actually had to go look at that picture and then look at all the pictures that are there on the different pages of the voter list. And the amount of paper that it is, you saw in that photo,
right.
The stack was 7 feet high. And again, as I said, if it was just you're able to scan, you're able to take the record and put it on Excel, put the pictures, put it on Excel, there's enough technology. But the Election Commission has access to the digital version, but it obstructs civil society, independent activists, political parties from accessing that. Why? So today the Election Commission has not been able to say why they didn't do this job. And I simply don't buy this argument that SIR is happening because Rahul Gandhi has said. So please, that is just an excuse. You never said that in the beginning. You're only saying that because Rahul Gandhi has now come up with solid evidence. And Rahul Gandhi has said that we have provided you with proof, evidence of fraudulent entries in the voter list. Yet, the voter list is also manipulated by removal of genuine entries. And that's what we are feeling that is happening in the SIR process. Genuine people are being removed from the voters list, thereby losing. Remember, this happened in Telangana also.
Yes.
Some very famous people in a Telangana state election, not the previous one, but the one before that, could not vote. Around 40,000 also, if I remember correctly. So this still happens, despite India being the IT center of the world. And also, you're not only removed sometimes from the voter list, at the last minute, you're assigned to a different polling station. So you go to your neighborhood school because you've always voted there. And on the day of voting, you realize that actually your name is not there. Your name is put on another school, another polling station, 20 kilometers away. So this is a form of voter suppression also. So all of this is going on. And my last question is that if you are 1 lakh fraudulent entries, how many votes were cast on an EVM machine based on those fraudulent entries? And how were these votes cast in an EVM machine? Through a process where you have polling observers, you're looking at voter ID cards. How is it possible that a section of those fraudulent entries were able to cast their votes in an electronic voting machine?
In fact, he cited one instance of this lady, 70-year-old Shakun Devi, who had, I think she was in possession of 2 epic cards, and she actually voted twice, going by the records of the election commission.
But you see the response of the election commission. Instead of introspecting, they're asking for further declaration from Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is the leader of the opposition. He has put in public the facts of the matter, not allegations, but solid evidence.
No, if that
Then
is,
why is the election commission asking for further declaration? The election commission, as a neutral regulator, if the leader of the opposition has given solid facts that today, as we speak, are being verified by students, media, journalists across the country, and all of them are pointing that yes, whatever has been said is the truth and nothing but the truth, then why is the election commission, instead of going and checking its own inadequacies, is asking for declaration of oath? Who are they trying to intimidate?
no, while that is true, so what is the difficulty from the part of the Congress party to actually say whatever, submit these findings under oath? Since you are
All
sure
of this,
about your evidence,
the record is in public domain. The record is being made widely accessible to the public. Mr. Rahul Gandhi has gone on public. So it is for the election commission to say that, or to come up with counter facts. You come up with your own evidence.
the EC believes Rahul
Why don't you come up with your own evidence to say that this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong? They are not 1 lakh fraudulent entries. Till now, have they proved a single fraudulent case?
The EC believes Rahul Gandhi is avoiding doing so to avoid facing legal repercussions.
If there's only but anybody who is avoiding opposition political parties, is the election commission. This time and time again, opposition political parties have sought time. Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi only recently did a press conference outside the election commission, saying the bizarre rules that the new election commission chief has announced, where he's restricted the size of political parties. The main person is not there. I myself, in my own home state of Assam, we have seen how the election commission acted during the 2023 delimitation of the state of Assam, flouting all the principles of delimitation, using the census of 2001 to do a delimitation in 2023, when the national census is just a few years away. How much money they have wasted by doing a census of 2001. Some mega constituencies, some micro constituencies, we can clearly see how they have been acting. In Jammu Kashmir, they use the census of 2011 to do a delimitation. In Assam, they use a 2001 census. Why? Why different standards for different folks? So I think for any concerned citizen, it is very necessary that if we truly want to live in a modern, fully functioning democracy, election commission must be a neutral regulator and must be as transparent as possible. I mean, we talk now, many of us remember the days of TN Session and how he had reformed and transformed this system. And now again, I think the election commission is hurting its own credibility by asking for signed declaration from LOP, Rahul Gandhi, instead of coming up with irrefutable evidence that they are right and we are wrong.
My last question on this topic. So Mr. Gandhi in his press conference also said, the judiciary should step in. This is one such issue where I think there is some requirement for the Indian judiciary to also play some role. Now there are no signs of that happening. So what next for the Congress party? What are you going to do with all this evidence?
It should be the responsibility of every stakeholder, whether media, students, professors, academicians. We all deserve a clean, transparent voter list. We all deserve that. Congress party will do whatever we can do as a political party. But the responsibility of having a fully functioning democracy, a government which is accountable to the people of India, is as much a responsibility of all the other stakeholders besides the political parties. We will do our way. We have been raising this issue. We will continue to focus on this issue. But I think and I hope that the informed citizenry, the youth, will also rise up, because it is absolutely your right to question. It is not only our right to question as the opposition party, but it is absolutely any citizen's right to question the election commission, and that question must be answered.
So Gogoi, you are 42 right now as we speak, and you are already the Congress deputy leader. You have been in this position since 2020, I believe.
And my hair is also graying.
I'll come to that. And you have recently been appointed the Assam Congress president. And I was just going through records. Your father, Mr. Tarun Gogoi, when he had become the Assam Congress president back in 1986 for the first time, he was 50 and you were 42. And whenever there are big debates in the parliament, you are among the opening speakers. So how stressful is your job? I mean, is this also an outcome?
Yeah, definitely the hair graying is an outcome of the stress. Stress eating is an outcome of this as well. Stress eating, where you just you eat a lot of sugar, pastries, or food without paying attention to the amount, because you're just eating in stress, and that kind of takes away those feelings. So it is without a doubt a stressful role, but I work hard to ensure that I live up to the expectations of my party, of me, in whichever responsibility or role they have given me. And I also pray to my late father so that he blesses me and I live by the values and the lessons that he has given me. So I think his blessings are with me. I think before every important speech, as you've mentioned, whether it's Manipur, Pahalgam, Waqf, just before I pray, and that gives me strength. And then I try and do my best.
You grew up in Delhi. You studied in St. Columba, and then you studied in IP University. You did your engineering from there. Subsequently, you traveled to the United States, where you also studied public administration, and you worked briefly in a private company. And then you came back and joined politics. So initially, when you were greenhorn in politics, there was this perception about your disconnect from the ground realities of Assam, since you have not grown up in Assam. Your language, your distance from the Assamese dialect, Assamese language, Assamese culture. So have you managed to overcome that? I mean, the fact that you have been elected to Lok Sabha thrice,
People will
keeping that
say.
aside, huh?
That is for people to say. I respect people's opinion. I respected the opinion when I was a new entrant into Assam, Assamese politics, Indian politics, Congress party politics. And I still consider myself as someone who's very young, who's still learning. There's just so much complexity, depth, nuance, sophistication, richness to Indian culture, Indian politics, Assamese culture, Assamese politics, Congress ideology. So I'm still learning. So I respect people's opinions and I always try and be a better version of myself. I try to be a better representative of the people of Assam. I try to represent their concerns even better on a stage of the parliament. And as I said, no matter what responsibility the party gives me, I ensure that I give my 100%.
We'll go back to Assam. Let's also briefly talk about Parliament, which is nearly headed for a washout now. Opposition has been protesting, demanding discussions on SIR, and the government seems to be in no mood to give in. And we have seen, I mean, such stalemate in the past as well. But we have also seen the opposition and government sitting together and working out a compromise. But we don't see that happening now. Why is that the case? Why can't we find a middle path where the parliament can actually function?
Well, I think Sourav, politics has become very combative. There was a time when politics was based on the philosophy of consensus, of give and take, of listening to each other and coming to a middle path. The UPA eras were like that when Kamal Nath was the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. The Vajpayee era was like that. Today, after 2014, after the imprint of Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah on the BJP's style of politics, politics has become extremely combative. The middle path no longer exists. And therefore, we often reach a stalemate inside Parliament. And therefore, it sometimes feels as if we're not functioning properly, that we're not living up to our responsibilities. It's a concern, but you have to, in this day and era, where if you're an opposition, the CBI, income tax, ED comes after you, you have no other option but to be combative. You have no other option to stoutly and assertively, declare your views. I mean, you saw the response of the government on Pahalgam. We asked if there were losses, and Defense Minister Rajnath Singh says there are no losses. Really? No Indian soldier has lost their life. We have seen news reports of how the Indian armed forces have given military honors to a fallen soldier, and you're saying no, there's been no casualty, no losses. What hubris! The Chief of Defense Services says pilots are safe, but we've lost some equipment, we've lost some jets. You're saying no losses. What is this hubris about? So, unfortunately, there is a very combative politics. The government operates on hubris. For them, the strongman image is very important. And therefore, they put that image over a functioning parliament, over being accountable to the public, over giving out the truth. And unfortunately, that's why we often reach a statement, because we are asking the bare minimum. We're asking for a discussion. If we cannot discuss in Parliament, where else will we discuss? Parliament is the only forum where the opposition and the ruling party sit in front of each other and have a debate. So, and when we can listen to each other, and the entire country watches us with attention. Otherwise, we can go back to our respective public rallies and speak to our base and speak to our workers. But the Parliament is the only place where it brings all parties together, of representatives of all states together, and we can have a genuine dialogue which is watched by the Indian public. And just because you want to preserve your strongman image, you would allow the Parliament to wash out. Well, whereas you could have had a debate on electoral reforms. Most recently in 2019, in Rajya Sabha, there's been a debate on electoral reforms where Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad has taken place as recent as 2019, then why can't we have it in 2024? So it is an unfortunate outcome of the kind of politics we are in.
You know, the opposition has been demanding a discussion on SIR. Now, the election commission has been putting out statements every day showing how the opposition parties are not really uh, submitting any claims or objections when it comes to the draft rolls which was published in Bihar. So, why are opposition parties? It seems they have no claims or objections regarding the draft rules in SIR.
Well, why have an SIR in the first place? A special intensive revision. Prior to every election, electoral rolls are revised.
Yes.
That's a normal process of revision, which I'm sure must have taken place in Bihar also. And Bihar just went to election last year. So clearly, you must have revised the voter list in Bihar then also. But you have a normal revision going on, but you still feel at the last minute, with a few months left, that you need to do a special revision. Why? Have they substantiated why they needed to do this special revision? And then you have seen so many lakh of voters rejected just a few months before. And have you made this exercise any easy? The amount of trouble poor people have gone to submit their names, pay middlemen, get photocopies, 80-year-old women, they have, it's been so demanding. Why in this modern era you can't come up with a simpler process? So all of this could have been debated about voter list, its updation, its revision. Have a debate in the parliament. Government, Mr. Rijiju himself has said when he was law minister that electoral process is as much the responsibility of the election commission as it is of the central government. In fact, it is the Ministry of Law and Justice, which is the administrative department when it comes to holding elections. So why are they running away in parliament? So therefore, these are justifiable questions. Election commission, instead of acting like a spokesperson of a party, should be open, should speak to the political party, should speak to the public, to the media, and let's have a debate from the inside the parliament. I mean, prior to Bihar elections, this is the only session we will have. So why are you, if you can have a discussion on Pahalgam, till today the government has not said, why can't you have a discussion on voter list, electoral reforms, revision of voter lists? Not a single reason they've given.
Assam elections is some 8 months away. You are the president of the Assam Congress unit. You know, so there is a perception about you and your principal rival, the Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma, and how, in terms of how your personalities are completely contrasting. You are someone who's seen as a gentleman politician, and he is extremely competitive go-getter. You know, so you feel, are you really cut out for the cutthroat world of politics, especially in Assam?
It is for the people to decide. Now he goes and tells the people of Assam that he is a mama. But it was a mama in Mahabharat who made two brothers fight, Shakuni Mama. It was a mama who wanted to kill a relative, Comes Mama. So people are beginning to see that he is not the endearing mama, but he is the mama from Mahabharat, like Shakuni Mama, that he is getting people to fight with each other. And today, people in Assam, especially the youth, are tired of a decade of hate, a decade of fear mongering, a decade of intimidation, a decade of corruption, a decade where BJP ministers have used their wives and brothers to amass huge amounts of property and wealth. So people are looking for a change. People are looking for the next decade where Assam moves forward in terms of its health, education parameters, in terms of local industry, startups, entrepreneurs, where the different communities that make up the social fabric of Assam, while celebrating their own unique culture, also respect the differences that exist in Assamese society. So from a decade of fear, people of Assam now want to move on to a decade of peace.
Yet it seems Mr. Sharma continues to have some degree of grip over Congress party in Assam. How, I'll tell you, recently Mr. Gandhi was in Assam with the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, where there was a closed door meeting of the Assam Congress unit, where Mr. Gandhi spoke about how he wants to see Mr. Sharma getting arrested after the elections if the Congress party comes to power. So even before that news became public, we saw Mr. Sharma putting it out through a tweet. How did he come to know? Do you have moles of the BJP in your Assam Congress unit?
More than that, I think Mr. Gandhi wanted that message to go to him.
Okay.
I think Mr. Gandhi wanted specifically that message should fall on Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma's ears that come a Congress government in the future, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma and his family, they will have to be held accountable for the crimes they have committed, and people of Assam want to see them in jail. And I am simply a loyal soldier of the party. If Mr. Gandhi has given us an instruction, we will carry that out in the future Congress government. So I think what Mr. Gandhi wants to keep confidential is confidential, and what Mr. Gandhi wants Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma to hear is certainly reaches Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma.
You spoke about Mr. Sharma's family, and last year we saw you actually came up with allegations against his wife on how his wife is involved in corrupt land deals, and subsequently we saw the CM going after your wife. So that really played out in public domain, and it became really bitter. Um, from your end, you seems to have stopped attacking his family. Why is that? I mean,
Who
you're not
says?
really targeting his alleged corrupt deals anymore.
Who says? You're not following me enough then.
Hmm.
You just take my speech from Mr. Rahul Gandhi's most recent rally in Soigaon. There, I myself have said two things.
Hmm.
One, I pointed out to a recent corruption, recent scam involving top BJP ministers close to Himanta Biswa Sharma, where cows which were bought from Gujarat for a dairy project in Assam meant to help local dairy farmers were instead transferred to the private farms of BJP leaders. So in that rally, I said that the party who asks votes on the behalf of cows are themselves indulging in the corruption with respect to cows and gaining wealth through cow related syndicates. Second, I said that this land in Assam, which belongs to the tribals, the indigenous communities, is only going to BJP chief ministers through his wife, is amassing huge amount. I just said that earlier, huge amount of property. So the difference between what Mr. Biswa Sharma is saying in terms of my family is that it is based on a foundation of lies. And what we are saying is what we are hearing from the people of Assam, because they themselves can see the land next to that flyover, or that land which was initially an agricultural land being converted into industry, or land in Majuli. People themselves are saying that here is where they have bought land, here is where they built a hotel, here is where they built a private school. This was previously a wetland, forest land, government land. So that's the difference. And I think lies can take you only so far, and truth will take you right till the end.
So you believe there are no takers for this theory or allegation that Tarun Gogoi's son is involved in some sinister conspiracy with the ISI and Pakistan against the Indian state?
I must give credit to him that he is so desperate that he will come up with such fabrication. Well done. I feel sorry. I'm sure he must have tried to find some other charges against me when my father was the chief minister for 15 years, some other allegations in which there's some iota of evidence. I feel pity that he could not find that, and therefore he has to come up with a completely fabricated story. But he's willing to go to that lens to save his chair. Today he's willing to ignite disputes between various communities just to save his chair. So obviously, when Mr. Gandhi has given us a clear mandate that he has to pay for his crimes. The person is desperate and will go to any lengths, but I have full faith in the wisdom of the people of Assam that they will ride out his fear mongering, hate tactics, corruption. And as I said, people of Assam, from a decade of fear and intimidation, want to move on to a decade of peace and prosperity.
What is the Congress Party's position in Assam on the ongoing eviction drives? Because in Assam, land and migration are issues which are really tied to anxieties of the people, and they go back decades. So, what is the party's position on this eviction drives?
Our party's position is that we understand the anxieties of the people. The issue of illegal Bangladeshis entering India, staying in Assam is a real issue, is a real problem. That is why during the Congress government under Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi, we initiated the process of an NRC. It was a Congress project
Hmm.
which was designed in consultation with the local student bodies, local parties, but unfortunately, it did not reach its logical conclusion and failed to fulfill its objective when the BJP took over the monitoring and implementation of this exercise. During our time, we were very strict that we must fence the border between India and Bangladesh. We make sure this strict riverine patrolling so that absolutely zero means that anybody can enter India illegally. So much so that at that time, the Vajpayee government was toying with the idea of allowing temporary visas to people from Bangladesh to come and work and then go back. And we said absolutely nothing doing. We will go by the Assam Accord, 25th March. That's it. And unfortunately, what we are seeing that in the last 10 years, the BJP promised a lot in order to address these anxieties of the people of Assam. But they did nothing. They had an NRC, they could not fulfill. The clause 6 of the Assam Accord could not be fulfilled. Then they ended up coming up with CAA, in which the Bengali citizens of Assam now have to prove themselves as Bangladeshis first if they want to be taken as Indian citizens or have the rights of Indian citizenship, I think, which was absolutely created a wedge between the mainstream Bengali society and the mainstream Assamese society. All other, they did delimitation, they came up with some retired chief election commissioners report, H.S. Brahma report on land reforms also. So they have kept on promising to address these anxieties. Prime Minister Modi had said in the 2016 election campaign that come BJP government in Assam after 16th May, all illegal Bangladeshis residing in Assam will have to leave with their bags packed. It's been 10 years. What have you done? So, all of these failures are very visible. And now, again, in the name of targeting illegal Bangladeshi uh, people or settlers, you are evicting people, branding them as Bangladeshis, but yet you're not deporting anyone. If they are actually illegal Bangladeshi settlers, then how many of them have been deported or sent back? Why are they still in Assam? Why? Because they're Indian citizens. You have no proof. So you're just doing this politics, harassing the poor, who, like many other poor, are don't have formal government papers.
So, there is also this argument that if the Congress party takes a very strong stand on this issue, how Bengali Muslims are being targeted in the name of this eviction drive, it essentially Congress party will be walking into the trap laid by the BJP, and there will be a Hindu consolidation of votes in Assam, and that is going to benefit the BJP, and obviously you will be at a disadvantage.
See, the Congress party will follow our party's philosophy. If there's one thing that Mr. Rahul Gandhi has taught us, which is that you have to be true to your ideology. And today we need hardcore Congress supporters, party workers, leaders. And we can't be fake. If you don't have a genuine affinity for the Congress ideology, I don't think you should be in the Congress party.
Mm.
You should go somewhere else. But if you're in the Congress party,
Mm.
then you have to be true to your party values. That is why Rahul Gandhi walked from Kanyakumari to Kashmir with the slogan कि नफरत की बाजार में मोहब्बत की दुकान खोली. And mohabbat and ishq is our philosophy. The principle of equality, liberty, fraternity, as enshrined in the preamble of the Indian Constitution, is the philosophy of the Congress. We believe in an India where everyone is equal, where everyone has the right to practice their unique culture, faith, religion. We might have our differences, but there should always exist a spirit of fraternity. That is India. That is what unites us. That is what keeps us strong.
You know, whoever forms government in Dispur in Assam needs to have the numbers in Upper Assam. Now you come from Upper Assam, you represent Jorhat, which is in Upper Assam. How are things for the Congress party in that part of Assam? How are things
See,
looking
we
for you
have
right
we
now?
have to work
Mm.
without a doubt. As I said, 8 months is a short time for a new party president to bring about massive amount of changes in our organization and working styles because elections are near. Right now, more than Himanta Biswa Sharma, time is our competitor because we've outlined what we
Mm.
need to do.
Mm.
We know what we need to do. We know how to do it also.
Mm.
But if there's one competitor that who is breathing down on our necks
It's time.
is not Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, BJP or RSS, it's time. So we are racing against time to rebuild ourselves. We're doing a lot of innovative work. We're doing a lot of organizing work. We're doing a lot of communicating work. We're doing a lot of volunteer-based ideas as well. And by and large, I must say in the last month and a half, whatever we can achieve in a month, we have managed to achieve. So we've set monthly targets of how we want
Mm.
our campaign to progress. And right now, we are on schedule
Mm.
to come back to the state in the next state assembly election.
It is very important for the Congress party if it actually wants to be in a position to form government. Muslims will have to rally behind the Congress party. And in the past, in the last assembly elections, you had Badruddin Ajmal's AIUDF. It was in a coalition with the Congress party. The AIUDF actually won 16 seats, and you had 29 odd seats. Now that alliance has broken. It has fallen apart. Will there be attempts from your end or their end to stitch up, any
See,
understanding?
we're against the communal politics practiced by Ajmal Sahab, he's senior and elder, and his party, the AIUDF. And if it is one force which has ended the AIUDF's politics in Assam, it's not the BJP, it's the Congress party, resoundingly defeating his party
Hmm.
in his Lok Sabha by a margin of 10 lakh votes. That is the signal that people of Assam have given to us.
Hmm.
We respect that mandate and we will not go against that mandate. If people wanted us to work together, they would have given us a different mandate in 2024. The mandate is clear. This politics of AIUDF needs to be rejected. The BJP could not do it. The Congress did it. The Congress will stick by it.
If we can briefly talk about neighboring Manipur. So, what is your reading of the current situation in Manipur? Manipur has been under president's rule, it's been some time, and there are no signs of or any effort to install a government there.
Well, if you look at the history of the Northeast, whenever there has been a political agitation, the Prime Minister at that period himself or herself took a personal attention. If there was a problem in Tripura, then Prime Minister Indiraji, Prime Minister Rajiv Ji, they themselves took personal interest, met with the leaders, and tried to come up with a solution. Is the same in Mizoram, is the same in Assam. At that time, during the Assam agitation, Prime Minister Indira ji, Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji, They used to meet student leaders, college students, university students, just to bring about peace and to end the agitation, political agitation. Till the time we don't have that level of leadership from Prime Minister Modi, and he believes that Home Department can solve the problems of Northeast, he's clearly not read the history of the Northeast or understood the
Hmm.
Northeast.
Hmm.
There has been peace in Northeast not through the Home Department or Home Secretaries. It has always been political leadership of the state with the political leadership of the center. Until the time there's no political leadership from the center, I don't see how Manipur can be healed. You will have elections, infrastructure projects will go on, but in the larger interest of bringing the various communities on a path of reconciliation and healing, I think the political leadership in Delhi, Prime Minister Modi himself must take a part.
You spoke about reconciliation. Is that even possible? Because I have been on the ground in Manipur. The divide between the two communities, the Meiteis and the Kukis, just it hits you on the face.
Well, Indians are resilient and we have healed through many such scars. Assam itself has witnessed several scars, conflicts, unimaginable violence, horror, tragedies committed against children of all communities. Those scars remain, and yet we've healed. If Assam has healed, if other states have healed, Manipur too can heal. I believe in the depth of the people's resilience, the Manipuri character, that it can, provided there is a helping hand from the center.
Before we wind up, one last question again on Northeast, one subject I can talk about for hours because I come from the region like you. Uh, Recently, we saw the lone MLA of the Congress party in Meghalaya also switching over to the National People's Party, the ruling party there. And over the last decade, more than a decade, actually, you've seen how the Congress party's base has really shrunk in the across the region, across states. I mean, you had good performance in the Lok Sabha elections, but it was more of a flash in the pan because you know, other than that, I don't see really efforts from the party to strengthen the base. Say in Mizoram, in Nagaland, in Meghalaya, the party is breaking.
I don't agree.
Hmm.
I see the 2024 being a departure because we won an MP in Nagaland after decades. In Meghalaya, while the lone Congress MLA, as you said, joined the NPP in the last Lok Sabha, NPP, the ruling party in the state, lost both seats in
Right.
Lok Sabha,
Hmm.
both Shillong and Tura.
Tura.
As I said, we won both seats in Manipur. In Assam, AIUDF was defeated by 10 lakh in their own seat. I won the Jorhat seat, which was last won in 2009. Since the Lok Sabha, the first major election in the Northeast will be in Assam. And you will see us forming the Congress government. And you will see in the subsequent state elections that the Congress, ever since the Bharat Joro Yatra 1 and Bharat Joro Nyaya Yatra, which started from Manipur, that Congress is on a path of resurgence. 2026, you will see a Congress government in the Northeast, and subsequently, you'll see us doing um, well in Meghalaya, in Manipur, and in other states also.
Well, I hope to have this conversation next in Assam. And next time we speak, will I be speaking to the chief ministerial candidate of the Congress party in Assam?
The party has given me the responsibility of ensuring that there is a Congress government in the state. And that's my sole focus, that there has to be a Congress government in the state. I owe it to the party leadership who have bestowed me with tremendous responsibility. And I owe it to the people of Assam who are simply looking for change and are fed up with the current dispensation.
Thank you, Mr. Gogoi, for your time, and thank you, viewers.